There's a thing called the disturbing movie Iceberg. This intrigued me a lot, so I went through it. Now, of course, I mean, I'm going to go step by step for you all, and show you things and explain other things. So let's go step by step. The first part of the disturbing movie Iceberg are movies that you probably recognize. Friday the 13th, Child's Play, Scream, Insidious, Annabelle, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Grudge, The Ring, things like that, Conjuring. Number 2. More things you've recognized: Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Hills of Eyes, Tusk, Hostel, Midsommar. I wouldn't call that disturbing. The Human Centipede, Saw, things like that. Now it gets into the weird stuff. Kind of weird. You have a Serbian film, Cannibal Holocaust, The House That Jack Built, The Human Centipede 2, Martyrs, Pink Flamingos. Let me explain a little bit of this. So you have like Cannibal Holocaust. Cannibal Holocaust is supposed to be one of the first original found footage films, but it's technically not. But it is slated as that. It's supposed to have seemed like the main people got murdered. The cast actually got murdered, and the cast actually went away on vacation. And there was actually a hearing for the filmmakers to get tried for murder or for some kind of death of their cast. So they actually had to get the actors over there to say, "I'm not dead." That was like Cannibal Holocaust. Pink Flamingos. The thing that makes that disturbing is the fact that they use like live animals. Like one of them, there's a sex scene on top of a chicken, and you can see the chicken like struggling to stay alive as it eventually dies, while a rape sex scene happens on top of it. So it does get pretty disturbing on that part. I'm not showing any of this, by the way. Martyrs, I find the beginning a little bit more interesting and intriguing than the ending. The ending is her kind of getting tortured until eventually they skin her alive and then just have her there at this point of, I'm in so much pain, I can see heaven kind of a thing. I find the beginning, the monster, the most interesting. But now moving on, Human Centipede 2. I do find this more disturbing than Human Centipede 1. It is more disturbing, but it's not crazy. It has this sense of understanding with the villain, because you follow the villain the whole time. So I guess that makes it a little bit more disturbing, because you feel for the villain, but at the same, and you kind of, as an audience member, you kind of go, do it, because he's doing it to, like, some people are bad people, some people are this and that. So it gives you a kind of a disturbing sense of just mindset. I know the images are supposed to be really disturbing, but compared to a lot of the other things, it's not as disturbing. Just so we don't have to make this video super long, I'm gonna go. You have things that start getting into gore porn and things called like slow torture puke chamber. Do you want to guess what that's about? It's not really that hard to figure that one out. Life and death of a porno gang. That was exactly what it sounds like. Majority of these, by the way, are like found footage kind of stuff. Or like shot on hand cam kind of things. They're very low budget. They're very cheap. The idea behind them is what really brings people to go, ooh, this is scary, oh, this is disturbing. But it's really not. They're not, because you can easily tell that these things are cheaply made gore. It's just, the only thing that really kind of disturbs you is, why am I sitting here watching this? And so, I will tell you, I'll be completely honest, I didn't fully sit through every single one of these. I skimmed. I sat through Regurgitated Sacrifice. I'll tell you right now, it was not, it wasn't because I chose to sit through it. It was because it was on, I walked away, made food, came back, still watched, was eating majority of the time, and majority of the time I was staring down, just listening, like, okay, yeah, it's still on. Alright. It was, exactly what you think. It was cheap, badly done gore. And it's just constant, cheap, badly done gore. There was nothing at all worth noting about. Any of these right here in this category, I think, what are we on? Go to number 5. You have Women's Flesh, My Red Guts. There should be a hyphen there. Colon, semicolon, something. You have Ostermontag, Girl Hell 1999, My Chan's Daily Life, the movie, Tumbling Doll of Flesh, The Necrophiles, The Gateway Meat, The Taming of Rebecca. I watched 3 of these until I realized what I was going into. Girl Hell 1999, Necrophiles, and The Taming of Rebecca. And The Tumbling Doll of Flesh. I'm sorry, I watched 4. I did Google every single one of them to see exactly which ones I wanted to see. These sounded the ones that had the bigger budget. I was wrong. I was very wrong. Let's go with The Taming of Rebecca. Taming of Rebecca is filled with incest, mutilation, cursing, attempt at humor, attempt at creating this dark atmosphere, but at the same time insulting it and acting like it's something that should be laughed at. I mean, it has things like orgies, just pain, induced by the main actress, nipples getting cut off, things like that. I'm not going to go too far into it. We have a lot more nastier things to get into when we go further down. But, no, this is one of those movies that you just wish never happened. Because who enjoys this? But it is weird. The director, Phil Prince, you would think that he would do a lot more movies, but actually, he was in researching this thing. I found out that he was charged of robbery and assault after shooting an ice cream parlor manager. It didn't really say if the guy died or where he shot him. It's just like, oh, okay, so this guy who made this messed up film also is messed up in his own mind. So no, that's good. It's good. It's the kind of film you wanna watch from a deranged person who's going to shoot people and rob things. Great. I had to pause it. There was knocking on my window. I checked it and there was like nobody there, so it was a little weird. So this movie, Girl Hell. I'm gonna go through it. I actually found pictures. I don't wanna. I don't want to show you all of these. But I'm actually surprised that they actually do have pictures in this. I'm gonna butcher names, so I'm not even gonna say it. But Girl Hell is about. I mean, it's. I kind of don't want to tell you the whole narrative of it, but it's literally just about. You have this 17-year-old girl, and yeah, she's lonely, she is miserable, and things like she's abandoned by her mother, but she also she lives with her sister. Her sister is she got into some kind of accident, and so the sister doesn't isn't able to really do anything for herself. So the father, of course, uses her as a 24-hour sex slave. Um, the sister, and then what happens is, I mean, it's there's a lot of incest, and the one girl decides to prostitute herself out, which is, keep in mind, it's her only friend who's doing that. I'm being very vague on things, and she's like unable to really relate to her friend, and she gets this drawing towards a doll, just a lifelike doll, and she acts like it's her child. And I mean, to the point of she's like lactating and into the doll's mouth and stuff. It's very weird. And there's two guys that befriend her, and they're all into. I mean, they want to murder and rape and rampage, yada yada yada. I mean, it's hard to really just say these words and make it sound like the movie is any decent. It's not. Eventually, she does go on a killing rampage. She does kill everybody. But I'll actually here, let me. Let me go through and show you. This was shot on video. Completely shot on video. That's the wrong button. That's the wrong button. Alright, I'll move this over. Okay, here we go. So this is Girl Hell 1999. As you can see, this is a very shot on video kind of film. It's not anything that's gonna look good. There's very disgusting sequences of like people sticking things in other people and into an orifice and be like, I'm thirsty, I'm gonna suck this out, and things like that. I'm just going to stop it there. It was like they had a dartboard of disgusting, disturbing things that they could think of, and they threw darts at it and said, boom, let's do that. This doesn't serve any kind of fun. It's quite annoying, and I guess you would say disturbing. The idea behind it. It's not good. So let's move down the line. You get what these movies are. I don't feel like going too much in depth with it. So what happens is these are now going into like gore porn, okay? I will honestly say I did not watch these completely. I watched scenes. Now one of these, like Traces of Death, Faces of Death, those are not actual deaths. Those are on this level. There's Traces of Death, Faces of Death, Mondo Cane, Junk Films, African Adio, Buried in the Sand, Banned from Television, Orozco the Embalmer, Death File Red, Arquivos de Morte Saga, Black Metal Veins, The Dark Side of the Porn. This this area kind of deals more with let's try to show you actual injuries, actual disturbing things instead of fake. That's where the Traces of Death and the Faces of Death they come into play. And those aren't actually yes, the footage is supposed to look real, but only portions of the film are real. The rest are made to look like those scenes. But then you have things, like the Black Metal Veins, The Dark Side of the Porn, Junk Films, and things like that. All of these are trying to seem like actual, these really happened kind of films, kind of like the Poughkeepsie tapes or something like that, which obviously are fake, but these are really trying hard. That's all really I have to say about this set. You can look them up yourself and actually see exactly how they get, but I'm of course going to put them up here, but you'll see exactly what I mean about these. The next one. Next set. Wormfest, Kuzo Limitless, Genki 18, 19, and 21. No Vaseline, The Great Porn Swindle, Guzzamilk 1 to 4, UNKB W002, Channel 309, Vomit Enema Ecstasy 1 and 2, KT Trilogy, The Motel Files and Other Random Cuts, Sadie's Scream Volume 1 to 5. And Death to Kufar. I had to really dig to try to find a lot of these. Excuse me. I had to dig to find a lot of these, and some of these actually are basically, they have like a cult following of just trying to figure out where they are. Some of these are actually things that you would find on the dark web. They were like little snippets on the dark web, 1 to 2 minutes or something like that. I know, especially like when we go further down, I have a lot more to talk about things like that. But the only real ones that you can really find that are available are like Vomit Enema. I'm not going to explain that. I skimmed it. It's exactly what you think. It's exactly what you think it is. Channel 309, that one's so obscure. I couldn't find anything about it. UNKB, that one was also very difficult to find. I saw pictures. I got little articles, but nothing definitive. Nothing where I can say that was exactly what this is trying to say. That's exactly what it was. You know, it was just other people talking about it. So I don't really want to regurgitate that information because it's like, it's just hearsay. I wanted to actually see for myself something there. And all I got was some pictures, and I don't really even know. I'm not even going to show them because I don't even know if those are legit. But what I've noticed here is even the KT trilogy. These are like videos from somebody's basement. These aren't real videos. These are like mushed up things that people have just... This is like beginning YouTube kind of stuff. When YouTube first started, people would just put these crazy weird compilations of disgusting things that they could find, that maybe their grandmother, maybe their dog, maybe they're this and that they could find, and just push them together. In fact, a lot of this stuff is in the lower things of, and I'll go more into those. But let's move into the furthest realm of disturbing. This one I have more to talk about. So you have things like Fetus Munchers 1 and 2, Fubar, Ogreish Collection, Porn Gore Volume 1 and 2, Registros, Fatius 3, Snuff R73, and Most Disturbed Person on Earth 1 to 3. So the one that really sticks out is Fetus Munchers 1 and 2. Fetus Munchers 1 is all I had to sit through. Okay? I didn't have to sit through the others. Fetus Munchers 1. I had to write it down. Fetus Munchers 1 had... It was a collage of crazy just scenes. Oh, boom, boom, boom. It was like watching one of those collections of like, if you go, people dying inside kind of a thing, where, or like America's Funniest Home Videos, but like the whatever the hell I want to put kind of a thing. So this had 60 plus anime gore. Okay, it was anime gore. 55 just supposed to be humorous clips. Yeah, I'm not saying they were humorous. I'm saying they're supposed to be. 20 actual gore. There was like a little counter. It's like, okay, you know what? That looks real. Now, I'm not saying they were actually gore. I'm just saying they looked very authentic. 15 movie gore. Okay, there's a lot of little movie gore in there because some of it I was like, I've seen that movie. That's hobo with a shotgun. That's this. That's that. 15 just porn clips, just regular porn clips. 3 to 4 poop clips. Some of them I kind of lumped in with regular porn, but like just straight up poop clips. I started looking away, so some of them I was like, is that the same clip? I'm not sure. So I'm going to say 3 to 4. And then there was about 5 animal clips. When I say animal, you get what I'm talking about. Okay? Fetus Munchers had things like you had a guy with a cup in his butt, and somebody would put a ball into it. Golf, miniature golf, so to speak. Um, you get to see things like eels being fed into a rectum. This Asian person had that happening. You had an Asian woman rubbing herself with so-called fish in sea life, and then she eats it, but doesn't really eat it. She like munches it, and then throws it up. And then you had, of course, you had a big section of just nonstop, just clips of gore, just do, and it was playing like that song "Die, MF or Die" from was it Dope? It was just constantly playing that, and just these were sped up too, really quick. Of course, you saw a lot of just random gore stuff. Of course, you have one where a girl she is like, it's supposed to be like self mutilation. She's like cutting off something out from inside of her, and it's shown that, and she's like cutting off a nipple, and everything she's cutting off, she starts eating. And of course, and then she like cuts her eye out and eats it. Now, this looks incredibly fake. Okay, it looks fake. All these things look incredibly fake, but then you had some random moment in there. It's about, I'm going to give it about 20 minutes worth of a pastor berating Obama. It's like, okay. I mean, you had scenes. Now, you had very random scenes. When I say humorous scenes, you had scenes where, like, a guy is just lifting tires. You had just random, weird, stupid things like that. I don't understand. It's dumb. It's incredibly dumb. So, yeah. Steer clear of that. Now, there's another movie on this list. I'm gonna go to this movie called Snuff R73. Here's the interesting thing about this. Okay, this is supposed to be something that is supposed to be very graphic, with dealing with children. You get what I'm talking about. The funny thing about this is, with all of the research that I've been getting, that I did, this is not real. This is like a collage. Somebody took a bunch of videos, collage of little kids either dying or getting hurt, especially from like the Middle East, and just put them together, acted like it was a movie. This was like something that was more of a troll and of creating what was already said. So everything that I've ever looked up that says that like this is real or this is not, everything points back to this idea of this is not anything but a like a fan made fiction of reality. Like the idea behind it was fake. This did not this movie did not exist. But then slowly someone made that movie exist. It was a lot harder to explain than it should have been, but yeah. Another thing that I find very interesting. Okay, so there's a movie called Fubar on here. Fubar. Weirdly enough, you can watch this for free on Tubi. But Fubar on that, it's a Canadian film that actually got 3 installments. There's a Fubar 2 and a Fubar 3. They say it's disturbing. People say that this has some kind of disturbing nature to it. Let me show you. The weird thing is, Fubar is about these like metalheads. Love metal, love this, but it's Canadian, so they're like, hey, all about 5, whatever. I don't. I'm not good with that accent, but still, they're just metalheads, and they take people out, and they just mess with people. I mean, it's really. I mean, I guess it's not super disturbing. I don't understand. And then the movie ends up that the one guy ends up getting cancer, and he's kind of excited about it. The other friend hugs him, and then he's like, "Oh, if you tell anybody that we hugged, I'm gonna be coming for you." And he's like, "No, I'm gonna tell people that you tried to make out with me." And he's like, "Okay." And that's how actually the movie ends, by the way. But it's very bland. It's very weird. I don't get it. I'm actually going to show you clips because this is on the lowest tier of the disturbing movie database, and I don't get why this is super disturbing. In comparison of the other thing that I just watched, the fetus. Oddly enough, in comparison to Fetus Munchers 1, which I didn't watch 2 because 2 was just equally the same thing. I don't need to watch both. In comparison with that, there's just no reason for its existence. Why is it on this iceberg? I don't see why it's such a big deal. I don't see why anybody would go, "Oh my gosh, have you seen this?" And I've looked everywhere. I cannot find at all any other movie called Fubar other than this film. It came out in 2003. Okay, Fubar, 2003. You can watch it on Tubi. It's not that disturbing. It's not weird. I'll show portions of it right here. So, well, everybody, that is the disturbing movie Iceburg. I know that's not normally what I show on my channel, but it is spooky. It is weird that people in this world actually enjoy these things. Of course, you enjoy the top 2 tiers, maybe even some of the third, but people actually enjoy. There's a market for the lower tiers, and I find that is the most disturbing thing. There's a market for those tiers. So, that being said, everybody, thank you so much for spending the time with me. I know this got a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. I am still looking for Molly. I'm not 100% sure where she is, but I'll find her. None of my alarm system or cameras picked up anything weird. I just couldn't find her whenever I started deciding to do this and actually glancing and watching some of these and going through all of this. This was a really hard day for me, going through all these um, movies. So, if you like more of these, there's a lot more disturbing icebergs and weird icebergs out there. And it's really interesting to go through. If you want to see more of these, just let me know. Thanks.